Hello everyone, and welcome back to NaissanceE. And already we're starting off in a bit of a different mood than the previous one ended on. This music, coupled with the howling wind, is pretty creepy, and something about the uneven architecture compared to the blocky stuff we just came from, it makes it feel like, well, it's almost evoking images of a wintry cave. Almost like I'm gonna end up hanging upside down, reaching desperately for my lightsaber. Oh, this wind is actually pushing me, and there's open pits all about. I'm gonna have to be careful here. Oh wow, there's almost like horizontal skylines down below. Like two cities reaching out to each other over a cavern, or not a cavern, a canyon. But I have to fight to even see down that way, and if the wind stops for a second, I'll be running right towards my doom. Alright, it seems like the wind is on a timer, so I just have to time it right, and probably hide in these little pockets, right? That actually only helps me a little bit. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm actually amazed at, given this game is untextured, the amount of variety that it's managed to pack into its environments. I mean, I had gotten into a certain mindset playing the previous part, but that mindset was not one of creepiness, really, but one of awe. We spent a lot of time in that one huge chamber that was essentially just descending in what looked like a city. And now we're definitely more back into the guts of the Death Star feeling. But that sense of scale has nevertheless remained. Oh, look at that. I hate inching towards my death like this, but I just cannot get enough of the views in this. For how simplistic the graphics are, it really manages to pack a lot of just awe-inspiring imagery into it. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. And that was a big part of the previous part as well. Something that was really cool as far as keeping me engaged was with that one area where we were descending that city-like area. It was like we had one big goal to get as low as possible in that realm, connected by a lot of smaller goals. How am I getting to this ledge? Where do I go from here? It did wonders for keeping me interested. Now I could walk out onto this beam, which seems like a death trap, but I'm kind of wondering if maybe I'm not supposed to go out there during the wind, that maybe I can use that to carry my jump just a little bit farther. Only one way to find out. Phew! Okay, science successful. Sometimes it pays off. I live for those moments. But it only really picks me up when I get off the ground. I must be a flying squirrel. Now, can we come up here? Nope. Ow. And I can still be fall damaged. Okay. Sometimes exploration isn't rewarded. But now the wind is once again my enemy. Now we're doing a Crash Bandicoot-style wait and run, with just a slightly longer gap each time. Oh, look at this. Oh, this area is actually also even. Also symmetrical. It really gives the impression that this is like the guts of some kind of supercomputer or something. and these are its databanks. That's the thing. So many things in this world feel so purposeful and at the same time so random. And trying to interpret all of this, it's weird. It's like I'm building almost a canon in my head for how things work. When, in reality, I almost forget that I don't actually know any of this for a fact. I read a description of this game saying that it's almost like an interactive art piece. And a lot of games say that. I found that kind of pretentious when I first read it, but it really is true. Because as I wander these narrow halls and huge caverns, I find that a lot of my enjoyment is coming not just from figuring out how to navigate it, but from interpreting it. And there's so much about it that's so open to interpretation. So many things that seem like they have some kind of purpose, but not something that would make sense to me. But maybe is vaguely reminiscent of something that makes sense to me, and so maybe I can go from there, but then again, maybe not. Like those things coming out of the holes in the walls in that spot. For some reason, seeing this just gave me such a sinking feeling. I have never in this game so far felt a sense of vastness like just now. I guess I wander down into the dark. Is there anywhere else I can explore? I just want to look at this for a little while longer. Here's the thumbnail. Unless it wants to awe us with something else in the meantime. Look, it's like there's catwalks running along the ceiling. A misty plain down below, and these look sort of like buildings. But they also look like sort of what I used to imagine the insides of computers would look like. Are those just lights, or are they windows? Well, those actually look like 3D windows down there, almost like I can see depth into rooms. I'm not going to say I don't know if there's a point, because one way or another, I'm enjoying trying to interpret this, but I don't know if the game is actually going to deliver any answers by the end of it. Now, is this trying to kill me? There's another space down below. No, we can get down here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Look at this. And it's also, it's really distorting my sense of orientation. And it's doing that with familiar imagery. For example, these spires that we see jutting out of the sides of the building, that's imagery that we kind of are familiar with, the kinds of things we might see on top of a skyscraper. And just by flipping it like that, it makes it seem, like I said before, like two cities are meeting at their peaks. Horizontally. Somehow. It's combining an image that exists with one that really shouldn't. And yet, it shouldn't feel that way because the images it's combining aren't really the things they remind us of anyway. It's very weird. One consistent goal I've noticed that we've always had throughout this game is we want to be moving down. We want to get lower in this space. If we want to go up, it's only so we can unlock something that's down below. These things, something that I didn't mention in the previous part, we see these things everywhere. We get to them and think, oh, a locked door, but who's to say that's even really a door? It's a shape that would remind us of some kind of passageway. Why is this, like, beam in particular all bent out of shape? Why just that one? Or actually, I guess it's not really an even shape to all of this, if you look closely. Also, I may end up having to, unfortunately, let's just see if this is an option. It's not even. I may end up having to mute the music because it's actually all third party and it can be flagged by Content ID, which is so annoying. That's why I had to mute parts of the previous video. Hopefully if I keep talking, it'll limit the amount of times I have to deal with that, so I might even be a little bit more of a chatterbox than usual in this video, if only to allow at least some of the atmosphere of the music to remain. I can't even turn it off in the options. That is honestly so lame, to have unlicensed music just in the game and on Steam, because that's really... for players, it doesn't matter, but that's really, really bad for creators. Where am I going? I can't seem to find... Oh, the Block Brigade, eh? You guys are gonna move, right? Now, were you on a timer, or was it me landing on this glowing piece that caused you to move? Platforming in the dark. Platforming in the dark. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like platforming in the dark. Because I'm not even jumping towards what I can see. I'm jumping based on contrast. Okay, at this point I am confident that it's stepping on the glowy bits that causes these pieces to move in front of me. So timing isn't an issue. Well, I actually stand corrected. Timing is now very much an issue. Because now we have to actually jump. I had read somewhere that the platforming actually does get a little bit frustrating later on, so I'm not looking forward to that. Where can I go from here? Downward. There we go. That was a little bit disorienting. It gave me that sinking feeling. Not really sure if I was actually sinking or if it was just the other pieces rising up around me. And now that we're not up by the ceiling, now that we have a ceiling to look up towards, I somehow feel even smaller than I did before in here. I mean, I talked about the music, the way it's done, being bad for creators, but I will say it's excellently chosen. Because it has definitely very accurately reflected my mood this entire time. This game, it's been such a long time since I played a game that actually brought out such a sense of wonder. I love that this game presents you with these images and just invites you to think about what you're seeing. And this is the closest we've gotten to any of these windows. I want to see if maybe we can get around to them. Yes, yes. One of these days, these darkened areas are going to be hiding a pit of doom. I can keep going that way. There's a lot of exploring to be done. A lot of exploring here. There's that metallic noise again. All throughout the previous part, we would periodically hear it. I'm wondering if it's not maybe supposed to be that thing we were running from in the intro. We still have yet to see what became of that. But my character definitely seemed to know it was something to avoid. Oh, we can't get up here. And not much. But that's, like, one of those is distinctly a window, and one of those is distinctly a door. Hello, what's down the dark hallway of death? Is it progression? I hope not. No, it just takes me up here. But meanwhile, there was that whole other thing back the other way. I feel a constant need to backtrack. Yeah, we've got actually many doors that are open in this area. Oh, wow. See, now this definitely feels like a habitat. At this point, we're confirming these are all windows, and they enter onto interior spaces. But for what purpose? They almost sort of resemble, like, houses in an old city. But houses for what? I mean, I say houses. I can't even commit to that idea. I wonder if... So basically, the way I see it, there's two possibilities for this whole thing in general. And that's either that it serves some kind of function that we're not aware of, or that this whole thing is an imitation of human life, an imitation of human society. And at this point, it could honestly go either way. You know, the running and breathing mechanic that I used getting over here, it's actually starting to make me think, imagine like a Mirror's Edge game set in an environment like this. I'm almost starting to want that now. We can drop down this way. Is there any reason why we might want to do that? I mean, this little jut out is here. But does not reward us. Oop, and I'm dead. Okay, two paths, and what looks to be another one of those invisible wall puzzles. Now, how do we go about doing this? Yeah, that looks like it's going to be a tricky one. Alright, now what do we do here? We can walk through here and approach from this side. There's multiple points of light. You can go there and seal you, but that will open you, correct? No. Do I have to somehow remove multiple points from this? Ah, it's one block. Okay, but that's still not enough. There's probably one on each side, and I need to open up the middle. I bet that's what I'm doing. If I... If I move you and run back... I can't beat you here. Can't do that. So how will I puzzle this out? If I get you out of here... If you had gone the other direction, I might have had a shot. Now I'm seeing the purpose of this upper chamber, which is obviously so that I can kind of get a higher view of what's going on down here. Now I'm starting to imagine that block is probably covering something that drops down and we can exit through this breezeway. The question is how... I need to work out how I'm going to get that thing open. How I can get all 4 balls of light off of that block. Maybe now I can do it. That should be it, right? No, who's still on you? Who's still on you? Oh, you. Okay, get out of here. And we're good. Okay. That kind of just worked out in the end. I feel like there was like a method to that I wasn't really understanding, but in the end I just kind of pushed on stuff until it worked. Now, what are you? This looks like some kind of monument. And are they maybe vaguely supposed to be in the shape of those things that we saw crawling down the walls. I mean, not really. Those things were a lot more geometrically complicated. And you know, another thing that's open to interpretation, I interpreted those as like caterpillars or worms or something. But can we really even call those life? There's two things that can be sort of interpreted as life, and it's the worms and the whatever that thing was that was chasing us in the beginning. Any reason to go off into the darkness beside? Well, there's stairs hidden in the dark. But what about useful stuff? We can climb these. I get it. We're heading over there where the platforming is. One good rule of thumb I found when you get lost in this game is to look either towards light or movement. Light or movement. Which is kind of how human vision works in general, but, you know, as a game design philosophy, they've definitely applied it to creating this map. Don't mind me just desperately trying to talk to fill the space between copyrighted music segments. Okay, I definitely have to get over there somehow, but how? This game is really starting to rely on me walking around in the dark, isn't it? Well, we're coming all this way. But will that get us anywhere new? Really? No, I don't think we've been here before. Oh, it's so hard to tell. But yeah. Oh, look at these pillars, the way the bottoms curve upwards and narrow. These columns, you know, all of this is... It's giving me vibes of some kind of, like, monument or religious site. Same as with the statues from down below. There was a new sound. And what is with that glow? Have we seen something like that before? Whatever it is, it's way back there. We're not going to be able to reach it. There we are, though. We made it all the way around, and through that gap, we're looking at that moving platform. Whoa! Should have looked before I leapt. From up here, we can kind of get a better view of this whole structure. And it seems like these lead up to there, where we came out of initially, and there's floors above that, so maybe what we should be doing is trying to get up there. It looks like there's another one of those big, bright, glowy blocks, and I still can't quite figure out how exactly we're meant to get to that sliding whatever it is. Oh, okay, hey, hang on, this is really annoying now, actually. Okay, so we had to come up these stairs, right, beside this thing, and the way we're supposed to go, at least I'm pretty sure, is you have to recognize that in this corner, oh wait, I can actually see through here, and I think this is a staircase. If so, that's really annoying. I was really worried that this was going to start relying on me noticing something in the dark, and I really hope that's not a trend, because if so, that's really annoying. So you're bouncing back and forth between those glowy dudes. And I bet I will get further range of movement if I move these glowy dudes, right? Okay, so now you're hanging out over there. Now you're gonna hang out over there. What happens if I let myself get booped by you? Can you run me over, or will you just push me? Just push me. Okay. Let's do this. Seems becoming more of a standard platformer in this area. But it hasn't let up with the interesting sights and the structures that are varied and open to interpretation. It's especially, I think, the objects in motion, because those are the things that make it seem like all this has a reason. Like, it's doing something, but you just can't determine the why. Whoa. Okay. Now we've got a bit of a narrower area. I guess these are off to the sides of the large structures we were looking at before. This is a mighty dangerous stairway! Come on. Okay. Maybe there's something we can do about that. Maybe we can actually jump up there, or maybe it was just meant to deliver me down here. Now we can get back to where we were. Is there... Let's get a further view. Is there actually a reason why we might want to climb that? Oh, this is a dip all its own. No, it doesn't look like that leads to anywhere. Ah, it's like wandering dream halls. Endless directions. Everywhere you go you can follow, but you'll always wonder what was in the areas you didn't look for. And touching you guys does nothing. Nope. We're given nothing but a view through bars. It's almost like we've got a door and a dog door. I'm kind of starting to think that maybe we have to climb the stairs, because I don't see anywhere else to go, really. It feels like there's a lot of different ways to walk, but there's really only a few. Oh, come on. There we go. Ah, so you were waiting for me to climb this, eh? Oh, no. Come on. Come on. Oh god, that was very nerve-wracking indeed. Mainly because I know about this game's disturbing lack of checkpoints in certain areas. The music even ramped up to accommodate that. I could just imagine that as like a set piece in an 80s adventure movie. Right down to the music to accompany it. Of course, who knows, by the time this video goes up, maybe I won't be able to show you the music. Of course I have to take the path that requires me to crouch. Crouching always means adventure ho. I'm sorry, have I found the horror building? Is that soundtrack, or is there something bouncing around in here? We're going awfully high up, which is counter to everything I've come to expect. Okay, the longer this goes on, the more freaked out I get. Unless it's going to turn out to be one of those trick staircases. The longer this goes on, the more I suspect that to be the case. It definitely is. It definitely is. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. After all that... but then again, maybe not. I've already gone up a fair few flights. Might as well take it a few more, I guess. And are those bassy beats, are they meant to tell me something? It also only plays a beat when I stop moving on a landing. And sometimes it plays more than one. I'm trying so hard to figure this out. Every time I stop moving, it plays a beat. But also if I just sit here. I don't understand. Okay. Yeah, I looked it up to figure out what you're supposed to do, and I'm really annoyed to find out that there was no puzzle to that. The sound had nothing to do with anything. It was just, yeah, try turning. Just try turning. I mean, it's a little bit of a creative thing. Not to be a negative NaissanceE, but it's not really a puzzle. It's just kind of trapping you until you happen to, like, stumble onto that solution. Which is, honestly, like, as a Let's Player, it feels like a waste of time, and honestly, as a player, it would probably piss me off, too. Alright, what are we doing? Whoa. Okay, that was a little bit disturbing. These little toolbox-looking things. Cubes of different sizes that just sit in the dark and scurry at the sight of light. Yeah, they seemingly don't mind jumping off into nothing. Which, you know, it's the same thing. Whenever we see something moving, it begs the question, is this life? Or is it just moving parts to this otherwise fairly still machine? I mean, a small organism inside an engine block might think the pistons are alive, right? The only thing is that, unlike the worms, these do actually seem to react to some kind of stimuli. But who's to say that's not part of the system? Alright, we gotta get out onto you, and then... No, I don't think we'll be able to make it down there without dying. I think that's too far. Unless we're real careful about it. Ah. Okay, I think we're okay. Alright. What do you want, Cube? I have a feeling we're not going to be able to find out until after we've messed with this stuff. This looks like another puzzle. We're probably going to have to apply what we've learned. You guys scurry when there's light. Meanwhile, you guys disappear when there's no light. So we'll have to utilize that somehow. We've got a movable right here and a movable over there. Tall movables. Movables that maybe we can jump on top of. You get down there, which is going to block the view of that. But there's still another wall behind you. Meanwhile, if we send you over to here, that will scurry you. Actually, it'll send you bouncing back and forth. Okay, well, how does that affect our outcome? Nothing to be done here. But we still haven't learned what happens when we touch this. Well, nothing really, I guess. It's just a source of light so that that can block it. But that one shouldn't be able to get back up, so if we move this light again... No, it's content to stay right there. So I guess this guy is out of play for now. Now what about you? Am I meant to use you to jump on top of something? What if I send this guy back? You'll just stay put. And I don't suppose I'll be able to time that so that you stay in a particular spot. But I can't really get on top of you either. So using you as a regular moving platform isn't going to work. Ah, but there's something down here. Get out of here. Ah, but now you'll stay. Oh, I see. You being under the stairs, that's what was pushing you back and forth. Now the question is, how do I get on top of you? The answer is going to be right here. That's going to be the way. And, oh no, but then that would mean that in order to move you, we actually need you back. So if we can get you under here... Ah, that's making you bounce now that you're here. Oh, I see. You couldn't get that far back into the pit. But now that you weren't being pushed out, now you can get on top of it, enabling you to bounce up and down. And all I need to do now is climb up here, and I'll be able to jump on top of you if I time it right. You're a little bit quick, though. This is going to take me a few tries. Come on, I was on it. There we go. My problem is I've yet to discover what this actually does for me. What happens if we push you back now? That might be a bad idea. Ah, there we go. Ah, you've leapt right on out. We weren't even supposed to get on top of you, we just kind of did. I guess that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Now this is all open. Not that I can see what I'm doing at all, but apparently I'm on an elevator. Now we're rising up. This reminds me of cutscenes in Halo. Especially Halo 2 really liked its visuals like this. Rising up over the vast cities. But now we're up onto those catwalks that I mentioned before. A lot of different directions we can travel in. Oh, we spent so much time going down, and now it's time to head up, and I feel overwhelmed all over again. Alright, music, I'm really going to need you to stop it, because I really don't think I can play you unobstructed. And I'd like to mute as little of this video as possible. At the very least, YouTube does me the courtesy of actually telling me multiple timestamps. They used to just make it so I'd have to do it one at a time. I can't remember which video it was, but there was one where I had to actually, I had to re-upload like 7 different times just to manage each separate instance where it thought there was copyright infringement. You know what? It was probably Childhood Nightmare Fuel 1. That was my risky jump of the day. Well, that risky jump of the day. But wow, we've got a lot of different platforms to move between. Okay. I think that's probably the way we're trying to go. So the most efficient route would be the opposite of the one that I'm taking. But taking the least efficient route can potentially lead to exploration, right? Oh. I think the glow is from those bright balls. The ones that we move around, because I'm seeing them in all the areas where we saw them before. Strange, they don't look that bright when you're that close to them, but for some reason they have this effect at a distance. It's actually quite spectacular when you're far enough back that you can see a bunch of them at once. Look, there's the statues down there. Another spectacular thing is just being able to look down at everything we've already been through. That is absolutely crazy. Those areas that once felt so huge now feel so small. Look! Look! Right there in the middle, there's that alleyway. I think that's where we traversed all those different bridges and climbed those narrow stairs. It all looks so small from here. From a distance, that looks closed, but I think it's a staircase, yes. From here, it's just a matter of where are we going. One thing I will say is that there is a large amount of running, and it makes the backtracking a little bit tedious. Just because there's so much area between things, it's like, okay, which way's the exploration path and which way's the progression path? I might never know the answer. That catwalk goes off into the dark. And that one goes off into the back. That's a hole in the wall. I'm half expecting another one of those caterpillars to come crawling out. No, am I not allowed? Nope, not allowed. Okay. Is there something I can do about that? Oh, I can rush it. And you don't close behind me. This feels like a one-way trip, though. Ah, now I have to go check the stairs. Oh, come on, game. Oh, there's nothing really to this? I could have looked at this from the beginning? Okay, well, I'm getting in my cardio at least. This whole thing is really interesting to me. Because most of what we've seen so far looks like the inner workings of some huge machine. But when you see something like this, it's almost like it's sort of grown into itself. And it's only our own associations that are causing us to associate this with damage. But it really does look like one of these perfect structures has kind of misaligned itself and grown in a wrong direction and caused some kind of damage. And it's like it's sort of formed a seal to try and close this up, to hide it, or I don't know. This is all just me trying to guess intention after guessing what something even is. Hello, we've never had that happen before. That was just a straight-up fade to black load screen. Breath compression. You're reminding me of this now? Or is that the name of the chapter? Whoa. What is that? I feel like just about any frame from this Let's Play could be a painting. But you know what? In the interest of getting this video out quickly, so I can move on to the next part, I think I'm going to end this one here and record more in this same session. So if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to do that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be there. It's free. And as always, I will see you in the next one.